From snowy peaks to rocky outcrops, mountains are some of the most beautiful places on Earth. But there's more to these giants than meets the eye. Here are 15 amazing facts about mountains that will make you see them in a whole new light. Number 1. The tallest mountain on Earth isn't actually the tallest. That's right. While Mount Everest may be the tallest mountain above sea level, it's not the tallest mountain on Earth. In fact, it's not even close. Mount Everest is located in the Himalayas and stands at a height of 8,849 meters, or 29,031 feet above sea level. However, it's dwarfed by Mauna Kea in Hawaii, which rises 10,203 meters, or 33,474 feet from its base on the ocean floor to its summit. Unfortunately, since it's not technically above sea level, many people don't know about this mountain and its true height. No, two mountains can be young. When it comes to geological timescales, mountains are actually quite young. Take the Himalayas, for example. These majestic mountains are still growing today at a rate of about 5 millimeters, or 0.2 inches per year. They formed about 50 million years ago and are expected to continue growing for another 10 million years. The Rocky Mountains are no exception either. These iconic mountains were formed around 80 million years ago and are still growing today, albeit at a much slower rate than the Himalayas. Number 3, some mountains disappear every year. It might sound unbelievable, but every year thousands of mountains disappear around the world. How, you might ask? Well, it's all thanks to erosion. Over millions of years, wind, water, and ice have eroded away at the surfaces of many mountains, causing them to become smaller and less prominent. In some cases, erosion has even caused entire mountains to crumble and wash away. One of the most famous examples of a disappearing mountain is Mount Aragon in Turkey. This mountain was once over 10,000 feet tall, but due to erosion has been reduced to just a fraction of its former self. At this rate, it won't be long before Mount Ararat disappears altogether. Number 4. Mountains can cause earthquakes. While we often think of earthquakes as being caused by tectonic plate movement, they can also be triggered by the sudden movement of rock and soil on mountainsides. This can happen when large rocks fall or slide down a mountain, causing the ground to shake. In some cases, these rock falls can trigger earthquakes that are strong enough to damage buildings and other structures. For example, in 1968, magnitude 5.9 earthquake struck the Italian Alps, following a rockfall on Monte Toc. Number 5. The Matterhorn wasn't always an isolated peak. Today, the Matterhorn is one of the most recognizable mountains in the world. But did you know that it wasn't always an isolated peak? In fact, the Matterhorn was once part of a much larger mountain range. Over millions of years, erosion has worn away at the surrounding rock, leaving the Matterhorn as the only remaining peak. This is also true of many other famous mountains, such as Mount Fuji in Japan and Mount Thor in Canada. Number 6. A mountain can be a cloud. You might be thinking, what does that even mean? Well, there are rare instances when a mountain can actually be a cloud. This happens when a cloud forms at the same altitude as the mountain peak. The result is a cloud that looks like the mountain itself. This phenomenon is known as orographic lifting, and it can create some truly stunning sights. Just imagine hiking up a mountain and then suddenly finding yourself surrounded by clouds. It would feel like you were on top of the world. Number 7. Not all deserts are dry. While many people associate deserts with dry, sandy landscapes, the truth is that there are many different types of deserts. In fact, some deserts are actually covered in snow. These are known as cold deserts, and they can be found in places like Antarctica and the Arctic. Cold deserts receive very little precipitation, just like hot deserts, but it falls in the form of snow rather than rain. This means that the snow can accumulate and create stunning, desert-like landscapes that are completely covered in white. No. 8. Some mountains are made of glass. You heard that right. There are mountains made entirely of glass. These unique formations are created when molten rock or magma comes to the surface and cools quickly. The result is a natural glass formation that can take on a variety of shapes and sizes. One of the most famous examples of a glass mountain can be found in the Czech Republic. This particular mountain is known as the Giant's Finger, and it's a popular tourist destination. No. 9 mountains can affect weather patterns. The presence of mountains can have a major impact on local weather patterns. For example, mountains can block moisture from reaching certain areas, resulting in the formation of rain shadows. This can create dry conditions on one side of the mountain, while the other side receives abundant rainfall. The Himalayas, for example, are responsible for the creation of the Tibetan Plateau, which is one of the largest rain shadows on Earth. Number 10. Mountains can be home to unique ecosystems. Because of their unique climate and geology, mountains can be home to unique ecosystems that are home to a variety of plant and animal species. These species are often well adapted to the harsh conditions found in mountainous environments, such as low temperatures, high winds, and rocky terrain. For example, the Rocky Mountains are home to a number of endemic species, including the Rocky Mountain goat and the pika, a small mammal that lives in the high alpine meadows. Number 11. The Swiss Alps weren't always so white. The Swiss Alps are famous for their picturesque snow-capped peaks. But did you know that these peaks weren't always white? In fact, until the 18th century, the Swiss Alps were largely free of glaciers and permanent snow. However, since then, rising global temperatures have caused the glaciers to melt, leaving behind bare rock and dirt. As a result, the Swiss Alps have lost some of their iconic white appearance. Number 12. Mountains can have secret lakes. If you've ever hiked in the mountains, you may have come across a lake hidden away in a secluded valley or nestled between two peaks. These secret lakes are often breathtakingly beautiful and can be found all over the world. One of the most famous examples of a secret mountain lake is Crater Lake in Oregon. This deep blue lake is located in the Cascade Mountains and is one of the deepest lakes in the United States. Number 13. Some mountains have magical properties. Believe it or not, there are mountains all over the world that are said to have magical properties. For example, in China, there is a mountain called the Jade Emperor's Throne, which is said to be the home of the Jade Emperor, the supreme leader of all Chinese gods. In India, there is a mountain called Mount Kailash, which is considered to be the center of the universe. And in Peru, there is a mountain called Osengate, which is revered as a living deity. Number 14. Mountains can inspire art. Throughout history, mountains have inspired countless works of art, from paintings to music to literature. The majestic beauty of mountains has captured the imagination of artists for centuries. One of the most famous examples of mountain-inspired art is Caspar David. Friedrich S. Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog. This painting is a romantic masterpiece that captures the awe-inspiring beauty of nature. Number 15. Mountains can change your perspective. When you stand at the bottom of a mountain looking up, it can be hard to believe that you're standing on solid ground. Mountains have a way of making us feel small and insignificant, which can be humbling and thought-provoking. This is why so many people are drawn to mountains. They offer us a chance to get away from it all and reconnect with nature. So next time you find yourself at the foot of a mountain, take a moment to appreciate the majestic beauty of these natural wonders. Who knows, you might just learn something new about yourself in the process. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.